you standing back for something I need to know about?
I'm scared.
Okay, so here we go. We got her out of her enclosure. So far, uneventful. That being said, she was giving me a funny look. This whole thing is to make sure that I can get her here without too much crazy. Whoop, there she is. Look at those eggs. Come on, girl. Boy, that is a beautiful clutch. I guess this is a head orange ghost stripe. I think it's head albino. We bred it to an albino orange ghost stripe. So it should be turn out really well. We should have some really incredible snakes. Come on, girl. Come on, that means that you're not who I thought you were, which means that you're more of a risk than I thought you were. Wow, that's a big clutch. Come on. Come on, girl. So the idea is I can just grab her by the neck, unravel her, rip her out of here. But the idea is I don't want to do it that way. I've been doing it long enough that I typically do this without getting bit. I don't know what's going to happen today, but at the end of the day, I still have all my arms, all my legs, all my everything. I wouldn't try to do this if it's your first snake clutch. If you're breeding a snake, obviously you already know the snake pretty good because you don't just get eggs by accident. It takes understanding your animals and what they need in order to feel safe, sound, and enough to want to lay eggs, because snakes don't lay eggs unless everything's perfect. And that being said, we take them away because the concept's real simple. We want them to hatch. We want her to be successful. She would normally, I think I'm going to be lucky with this female. So normally, it takes 84 days for them to hatch, and this female wouldn't eat for that 84 days. But because, and she has to protect them the whole time, so she gets real nervous. Now that being said, she's actually being a teddy bear. Oh, being a teddy bear. This is when I get bit, thinking I got them figured out. Come on. I usually do have them figured out, but we'll find out today if I'm right. And so she gets to actually go back on food early. So there is a couple infertile eggs, which means we're going to have to feed a lizard, a big lizard. There's one more. And we like to feed those to our Asian water monitors. Of course, in the wild, that's what would try to eat these, one of the many things. They have to deal with tigers, they have to deal with animals trying to get to these, wild boar. And look at this. This is like the dream situation you want. You want to be able just to pick them up. Once in a while, I had recently a female bite the eggs when I took them out and tore one, but it doesn't usually happen that way. Look at that. Oh man, that's heavy. That's literally like 25 pounds. I wish I had a scale right this minute. Oh my goodness. That is a nice clutch of eggs. Now, the idea is that she is going to be able to go back, live her normal life, be in a good disposition, and not be stressed out trying to protect those eggs for the next 84 days. So she can get back to normal life. That's why, despite the fact that she hasn't eaten in minimum 3 months, it takes 3 to 5 months of them being off food in order for them to actually get prepared. She's got good body weight still, and now we don't have to rush to try to get her back to health or anything because she went right back on food last time and is going to do it again. So now we're just going to keep her nice and healthy throughout the year. Ready? Now she's really being good. That being said, I wonder how many eggs we have. So, that was awesome. That one went really well. Doesn't always go that well. Now we have one little problem. Got a camera over here in the other box. There we go. Because this is obviously a 2-box clutch. So, let's see what we got here. I'm thinking we have at least probably 48, 52 eggs, somewhere in that area. I'll find out in just a minute. Remember I talked about all those crazy animals trying to eat these eggs? Well, the idea is they're glued together so that if they do get in a fight with a big giant tiger, for instance, because where they come from, there's tigers, the tiger, even if she was able to manage to bite her, scare the tiger off, if the eggs were all rolling around, they'd all die anyway. So this gives her an ability to do a few things. Sometimes, oh man, I just ripped an egg, which almost never, I talked about how much they never get bit. That one just tore, which is like one a year. So now I got to make sure. The only thing is it's usually in the same clutch if I have a second one. So I got to be really careful because they literally are glued together so good that it's kind of amazing. You can see that it actually it's like material. I don't even know what the glue is. Never have been able to figure it out. If somebody out there knows more about python eggs than I do, I'd love to know what that is. I think it's literally the egg, the part that makes the egg, and when it's wet, it just literally is like glue, because I've cut open a few of these to show people how crazy the stuff is inside, and it's like glue. So we're gonna take a minute, pull these. I'm still kind of curious how many eggs are gonna be in here. I'm gonna try to leave those 2 eggs together, because eggs actually heal. Just like if you tear your skin a little bit, it can actually heal. I didn't know that in the beginning, but I learned it over time. So that being said, I'm gonna try to take these eggs. Wish I paid a little bit more attention on which egg it was it's attached to, that it's just that tore it, but it looks like, I think it's between, frustrating. So I don't want to jeopardize the other egg trying to save the one egg to kill another egg. So I got to be really careful. I'm going to just pull these apart. So 84 days from now, what happens is now they run in the next roadblock. The next roadblock is getting out. They're born with an egg tooth right on top of their nose, but that egg tooth sometimes isn't sharp. Sometimes the baby's a little weak. Maybe the baby's in there wrong, got the umbilical cord tangled up. Man, this is not easy. So there we go. So I think it's between that egg and this egg is where the one is, the tear. So I'm going to leave it right there, and I have a hunch that we might be able to pull that one off, because I caught it right as it started to. That being said, there's just a tiny bit of egg there. I don't want to get it wet. We're definitely going to have we're going to have really close in the 50s. So I don't know exactly, but I do know that this box holds about 40 eggs. If you pack them real tight, I'm not going to pack these really tight because I'm going to use 2 boxes. I want them a little bit tight because I think it helps them. Obviously, they do good close to each other because that's the way they're naturally meant to hatch. But they have a problem. They can get too wet on the outside, too dry on the inside. So there's so many things can go wrong. And so one of the reasons that we put them in it, take them away from the mother, is because she hasn't had the ability to do anything but maintain her temperature in wherever she's at. Well, in the wild, that means sometimes a lot of eggs die, and we don't want the eggs to die. I'm still trying to figure it out. I guess it's just a little bit that came off of there. I felt something. And so the idea is that we put them in an incubator, and that incubator gives them the optimum temperature throughout the whole period without any interruptions. And that gives a way more likelihood of them hatching. And so, but because of that, sometimes we actually get to see the deformities that you would never see in the wild, because the eggs would die too early because they're already weakened. But when they're in a captive situation, you get to see the snakes that have the deformities, because literally they're in such a perfect condition that their weakness isn't enough to stop them from making it further. And then of course they would die in the egg because they wouldn't hatch. But we cut the egg open to help the ones that might have a problem, which we've saved a lot of snakes this way. And so that's why we do it, because I'm always asked all these crazy questions, and you guys are always like, oh, you don't go into enough detail. Well, sometimes the detail gets a little boring, but we're still wondering how many eggs we're going to end up with. So that being said, what was your guys' guess? Because I think we're going to be able to count these in about 2 seconds. I thought this female was going to be crazy, especially because she's a head orange ghost stripe, and she just happened, a couple of her siblings are kind of grumpy, but she is a sweetheart, and obviously one of the ones that is always a sweetheart. She's actually the first one we had to prove out to be het albino, and so we're pretty excited. So here we go. So we're going to count these out. So I'm going to stick to my numbers, what I'm going to say, because I think we're really close, but if anything, there might be a couple more eggs than I said. So I'm going to get these last ones. Now the orientation's everything, because so the way these eggs were sitting, remember I said they can't roll around? There are little embryos on top of each egg, and we have a few people standing back over here with this COVID-19 thing, and we're going to let them come in here and check these eggs out closer, and we'll answer some questions. So here we go. Another infertile. So she had way in the 50s. I'm pretty sure way in the 50s. You guys may already know the number, but there's 5 that we can't count, 6. So there's 6 eggs. That's enough for a whole nother video, feeding a wild monitor. So get ready. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm gonna do it again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. You know what that means? We made the 50 mark. 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 55. So I missed it. 56, 57. That's awesome clutch. This is going to give us a great opportunity. We have about 50% of these should be albinos. And so, but only half of that 50% will be actually orange ghost stripe albinos because of the way genetics work. So, what do you guys think? You have some questions, drop them down below. We're going to watch these posts really close so we can answer all kinds of crazy questions because you guys always have something that you want to know. And maybe, just maybe, we actually can have the answer because I actually done this before. Anyway, peace out, you guys. See you soon and keep living your dream, whatever that is. I have a weird one.